Jerry, the cognitive power of natural intelligence versus artificial intelligence, through my discussions regarding music cognition research. Number 1456, December 4, 2025. Gerald C. EclaireMD Foundation. Category: Music Cognition Science. Preface. Dear Professor Jones, I once worked with a very smart engineer who received his PhD from the Electrical Engineering Department of the University of Tokyo. He joined my startup semiconductor company, Avant Corporation, and worked with me for about 2 years. We have kept in touch ever since, and we still remain in contact today. Recently, he asked me a thoughtful question: body of information. His core question is, does melody have a stronger impact on memory than language? Or do melody and language carry equal impact, but the brain regions that store melodies have higher plastic capacity, while language regions are more rigid and harder to reshape? My answer is, melody and language influence the brain through different input paths, and are stored and processed in different brain regions. Therefore, they cannot be compared using one single physical force scale, like we do for engineering materials. Melody enters the brain mainly through the ears, while lyrics enter through both the eyes and the ears. I learned this only after my stroke in June 2025, by reading brain anatomy books and published neuroscience papers. I had never studied brain diseases before my stroke, so my current understanding is still early and shallow, but honest, and it has been growing day by day, week by week, and month by month. From a long-term memory endurance perspective, melody generally leaves a stronger and more durable memory trace than word and sentence-based language alone. Melody is processed primarily through auditory memory circuits, and is closely tied to emotional resonance regions in the brain. Once a heart-touching melody is emotionally adopted by the brain, its memory effect carries forward in time and does not fully reset to its origin. This fact is reflected in my output strain of music impact score, which shifted from 0 in 1960 to 70 in 1970. Rising to 95 by 2000, then declining back to 70 in 2020, but never returning to 0. The value never resetting to 0 shows that the system did not reset to its origin. Language is processed mostly in left hemisphere cognitive regions, which handle logic, meaning, and sentence organization. Words and sentences often go through evaluation, filtering, reorganizing, and forgetting before they can enter long-term memory. Therefore, language-based traces generally fade faster than melody-based ones. When you mention that melody regions are plastic, it refers to the brain's neuroplastic capacity, which includes neurons' self-repair potential, cognitive flexibility, and the future space for reshaping stored memory in melody circuits. Melody memory circuits are generally softer, and have larger future memory bending space, while language memory circuits are more rigid and have smaller future bending capacity. This does not mean melody and language carry equal impact force, but they carry different memory reshaping capacity and future shape adaptation potential. One more key insight from my personal learning. After my stroke, I suddenly realized that I had spent 12 years, from 1991 to 2002, in my professional career, designing semiconductor transistor placement and routing wires for integrated circuit chips. The design structure and routing process are highly similar to neurons, brain cells, connecting to each other through pathways inside the human brain. The greatest difference is scale. Summary comparison between human brain neurons and IC chip transistors. Transistors are single switching units built on silicon. A newborn baby's brain contains about 86 billion neurons, which is close in scale to the transistor count in today's most advanced commercial AI chips, including NVIDIA's largest chips, which contain around 80 billion transistors. However, neuron-to-neuron connections, synapses, reach 100 to 1,000 trillion, which is about 1 million to 10 million times denser than the switching unit count in silicon chips. Synapses are the specialized junctions where one neuron communicates with another neuron, or with an effector cell such as a muscle or gland cell. They are fundamental units of neural circuits, converting incoming signals into changes in the electrical or chemical state of the target cell. IC chips win in database size and data processing speed. The human brain wins in intuition, sixth sense, pattern recognition. AI has pattern repetition, not true pattern recognition, creativity, invention, connection density, emotional feelings, passion to others, such as psychotherapy, and real-life experience. Emotional motion and passion toward others are special strengths of the human brain, while AI remains short in these natural cognition domains. My research methodology, based on both viscoplasticity, energy and geometry topology thinking, has already proven that data point connectivity matters more than simple geometric volume or shape difference when measuring long-term system adoption and stress-strain response behavior. My summarized answers: largest IC chips today, about from 19 to 80 billion transistors. Newborn brain neurons, about 86 billion neurons, with 100 to 1,000 trillion more connections than AI chips. I want to emphasize that this shows how powerful the human brain is and how large the gap is, that AI must still catch up to chase. AI wins in data volume and data processing speed. The brain wins in information, not data alone. Digestion and extension, intuition speed, creativity, personality-driven adaptation, and survival capacity. My past zoology research also demonstrated that human cognitive, creativity and adaptability contribute to stronger survivability. Compared to other mammals such as pigs, horses, or dolphins, AI still lacks creativity, emotional passion toward others, instinct-style memory durability, and the ability to build meaning from lived experience. In 1983, when I was 36 years old, I attempted to develop a ChatGPT-like linguistic AI system together with a Stanford linguistics professor. At that time, I predicted mass job layoffs around 2040 due to AI adoption. My predicted year was off by 16 years, because global layoffs began in early 2024, due to commercial AI tools. Still, I remain proud that I was thinking about such an AI application at 42 years ago, while being an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley. Between 1972 and 1974, I studied machine learning and AI algorithms at MIT under Patrick Winston. He was regarded as a father figure in academic AI foundations. This explains why I dedicated 80% of my professional engineering career to AI algorithm design. However, my AI applications were focused on various engineering system modeling, such as mechanical and architectural CAD, and ADA semiconductor chips, transistor placement and electric wires routing, not biomedicine until 2010. Disclaimer: I write this paper not for fame, but to share what I have learned so others can understand their health, prevent disease, and live longer, healthier lives. This content is provided for educational reference only, and does not constitute medical advice. No doctor-patient relationship is created. You may share this summary freely, but it must not be altered, edited, or republished as your own. All intellectual property rights and copyrights for this article and its related materials belong to the author, Gerald C.